So I told you yesterday that I said yes to God's call on my life to leave my job and go into full-time vocational ministry, but I never knew all that God really had in store for me. See, I started out at Southridge Church as the middle school director, and within a couple of weeks, I was made the youth director. A couple months after that, I was promoted again to the role of youth pastor, and about 18 months after that, I became the associate pastor of the church. And after about 2 years of becoming the associate pastor, I became the co-lead pastor, where I was responsible for teaching, discipleship, and outreach. And then in 2020, I became the sole lead pastor of Southridge Church. I had no idea that one yes would end up taking me further than I ever expected. And I have a feeling that Abram must have had the same feelings when God speaks to him in this chapter. In Genesis 13, beginning in verse 14, we read, "After Lot had gone, the Lord said to Abram, look as far as you can, see in every direction, north and south, east and west. I am giving all this land, as far as you can see, to you and your descendants as a permanent possession. And I will give you so many descendants, they cannot even be counted. Go and walk through the land in every direction, for I am giving it to you." Do you think when Abram said yes to leaving behind his family and all that he knew, that he could ever have imagined all that God had in store for him? He's going to have descendants as numerous as the sand. His family will settle into a large land and possess it. God had greatness in store for Abram. He had blessing beyond his wildest imagination in store for him, but it was all unlocked with a simple yes. And I think sometimes we want God to bless us before we say yes and step out in faith, but perhaps your blessing or your breakthrough is on the other side of your yes. See, perhaps God is waiting to see your commitment to his plan before he shows you the full picture and begins to pour out his blessings. This happened to me. I mentioned that I wrestled with this call to ministry for a year, and I just didn't know what to do. Truthfully, I was lost until my mentor, Matt, told me that I needed to go to school to show God my commitment to the calling. And I said no. I didn't want to go back to school. I had just gotten out of college. I didn't want to do any more school. But eventually enough was enough, and my wife Megan enrolled me in Bible college, and 6 weeks later I got my first interview for a ministry position. God was waiting on my yes before I could see the next step and all that he had in store for me. So have you been saying no to something? Have you been putting off your next step, just hoping God will show you the whole picture before you jump all in? Maybe today needs to be the day that you go and you take that next step. No matter how big or how small it may be, take your next step and then watch God unlock blessings and breakthroughs and opportunities in your life.